We've been a leader in banking for more than 100 years. You'll find us here, at home, on your phone, and everywhere you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Sponsored by Renaissance Bank.
Good morning, Northeast Mississippi, and welcome to Daily Journal Newsbreak for Friday, December 15th. I'm your host, Chris Kiefer, and we're going to take a look at the top news and sports stories from Northeast Mississippi. But first, let's start with your weather forecast. Today we're looking at partly cloudy skies with a high of 48 and a low of 28, 0% chance of rain. Looking ahead at your 3-day outlook, Saturday calls for partly cloudy skies with a high of 57 and a low of 39. Sunday, rain, that's a 90% chance of rain with a high of 56 and a low of 49. And on Monday, back to partly cloudy skies, a little bit warmer, high of 64, low of 48. Let's take a look now at today's top headlines. When it comes to reporting sexual harassment, Mississippi has no standard process for making complaints, investigating claims, or seeking redress for victims. News that State Representative John Moore resigned after multiple complaints of sexual harassment prompted Mississippi Today to investigate how harassment allegations are handled in state government. Inside the Capitol, House leadership handles sexual harassment allegations differently than Senate leadership. And both of those bodies handle claims independently of the State Personnel Board, which oversees complaints from 129 state agencies and departments. Allegations of harassment in both the House and Senate are ultimately handled by legislative leaders. All of them are currently men. Meanwhile, state employees have a more defined process for filing complaints. Under the Personnel Board's policy, harassment should be immediately reported to management. In the event that the harasser is an agency director, the employee can skip the grievance process and go directly to the appeals board. Jackson attorney Lisa Ross said that despite the absence of state statutes, victims can enlist the help of federal courts. The head of the Lee County NAACP wants to see the city's Police Advisory Board form stronger links with the local community. Chris Traylor said that doing so will help the newly formed board further its mission of fostering improved relations between citizens and law enforcement. Traylor addressed the advisory panel of citizen volunteers during a Wednesday morning meeting. He recounted his support for law enforcement, but offered suggestions for improvement. His address followed a private meeting last week over apparent concerns about the board from some quarters of the local community. Speaking to the Daily Journal, Traylor said he believes many community members feel hesitant about attending advisory board meetings to voice concerns they may have about the department. The advisory board's monthly meetings have mostly involved reports from a rotating roster of police department leadership. That includes crime reports and briefing sessions on police department policies and practices. However, Advisory Board Chairman Bill Allen seems increasingly ready to steer the advisory board toward a more public-facing role. The Tupelo City Council has authorized Mayor Jason Shelton to negotiate the purchase of an unidentified piece of property. It has given him a $2.5 million budget. During a special call meeting on Tuesday afternoon, the City Council voted to authorize the potential purchase. The vote came after the council met in a closed-door executive session. The vote was 6-1, with Ward 7 Councilman Willie Jennings casting the lone dissenting vote. In the past, Jennings has warned that city efforts to buy poor quality housing stock for purposes of redevelopment will reduce options for low-income residents. However, not much information is publicly available for the potential purchase considered by the council on Tuesday. City Communications Director Alicia Faulkner cited a need to preserve secrecy until the deal is finalized. Tuesday's motion provided that a deal closes by the end of December. The council must extend its authorization if contract talks drag into January. The city has acquired numerous properties in recent years as part of its efforts to bolster property values in older neighborhoods and remove blight. However, this deal stands out for its large potential price tag. And in sports, Mississippi State's Greg Knox admits that things are much different in the head coach's chair. After 25 years as an assistant coach, Knox is getting his first chance as a head coach. He will be the Bulldogs' interim coach as they play in the Tax Slayer Bowl. Mississippi State takes on Louisville on December 30th in Jacksonville, Florida. Although there are more responsibilities that come with his new role, Knox welcomes the challenge. He said he's having fun with the process, too. Knox also plans to unveil some new wrinkles to the Bulldogs' offense during the game. but the Bulldogs will have to make those changes with true freshman Keaton Thompson at quarterback. Thompson is set to make his first career start in the bowl game after Nick Fitzgerald injured his ankle in the season finale. Wednesday wrapped up the developmental portion of bowl practice for the Bulldogs. They were off on Thursday and will start preparing for Louisville today. That does it for Newsbreak on this Friday. Don't forget that this show is just one of the many online offerings courtesy of the Daily Journal that gets you news off the page and on the go. Listen to the Memo podcast for the latest on news and entertainment in Northeast Mississippi with hosts Emma Kent and Derek Russell. On today's episode, Jenna Parsons talks about this week's food section, and Derek breaks down the local entertainment scene. Listen in Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or at memo.djournal.com. Each story discussed on Newsbreak can be found in your Daily Journal or online at djournal.com, where you can also find a new episode of Newsbreak each weekday morning at 7 a.m. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Kiefer. Have a great Friday.